As it is with a lot of stories, the Kamen Rider series often hinges its core themes on its main protagonists, in this case the titular main Kamen Riders. Naturally, this often means that the other riders in these series typically serve as narrative foils for the main rider. This makes sense as within a series, all the heroes tend to draw their abilities from the same power systems, just expressed differently through each mantle. It's only logical that each rider handle is somewhat tied to their alter egos' views on justice. And this is something that is pointedly lacking in the first stretch of Kamen Rider Gotchard. Hotaro Ichinose just doesn't have another rider contrasting him in this way. But wait, you might say, there is another hero in the show. Introduced in the third episode is the pseudo-rider, the common warrior Valvarad. Well, that's the thing. See, Spanner Kurogane doesn't really challenge Hotaro in that way. Spanner gets on Hotaro's case from time to time, and Hotaro certainly seems to view the quasi-rider as a rival of sorts. But for the most part, Spanner tends to stay in his own lane. The fundamental ingredients are there, specifically in how Spanner views chemis as tools, while Hotaro wants to befriend them, but within the show's first quarter, it often feels like the only reason they interact at all is because they happen to be facing the same threats. There is also the evil Kamen Rider Dread, but Dread at this point primarily serves as a reoccurring antagonist. Dread plays into the franchise-wide notion of the heroes and the villains drawing their powers from the same source, but is more a threat for Hotaro to overcome than a foil for his character. This lack of a proper foil is further highlighted by how Hotaro keeps being told that he doesn't deserve the Gotchard driver, that others would make better use of it than he ever could. And the issue with that is, we didn't actually have a frame of reference for what better means. Within the show's first core, there is only one Gotchard driver, and it's used exclusively by Hotaro. Furthermore, there hasn't really been a threat that couldn't be overcome in a rematch with a new form or a new toy. The advent of Kamen Rider Gotchard Daybreak changes things. Now, there's a version of Gotchard that has seemingly mastered the Gotchard driver, albeit a differently colored one. Gotchard Daybreak's debut is fantastic. At first, it seems like he's just flat out better than our Gotchard, easily managing a threat that Hotaro can't handle. But that notion is quickly flipped. Gotchard Daybreak lets Hotaro finish off the amalgam, conveying to the audience that Hotaro has the same potential. This isn't a power gap that can't be closed. In this way, Gotchard Daybreak serves as a sort of mentor figure to Hotaro, a benchmark to match and eventually surpass. For an intellectual property with as many iterations as Kamen Rider, mentor characters of this vein are surprisingly rare. Overall, Gotchard Daybreak not only adds an element to Gotchard that the show was previously missing, but also breaks some new ground within the franchise with his inclusion. But what do you think of this inverted Gotchard? Leave your thoughts in the comments section.